So this is my first video for about how to use Vroid. So first I'm going to introduce Vroid to you. First you just type in Vroid and it should be the first one right here. And then once you're in the website, you can go ahead and download it. Okay, so it should be somewhere down here. Yes, it's down here. It's on, you can get it on Mac, Windows, you can even get past versions of it. So once you get Vroid, this is what it should look like. So you can create a new character right here on this plus here. Yeah, that's okay. So you can choose from masculine or feminine. So I'm gonna choose feminine. Okay, just wait for it to load. Okay, so now that you're in, this is what your interface should look like by default. Personally, I have it on dark mode, but you can change this to light mode. It should be somewhere here in settings. Yes, this is light mode, and here's dark mode if you prefer that. Okay, so our first this brings us into our first topic, the face. I'm gonna try and go in depth about this. So I'm just gonna go over these tabs in two videos. So the first one I will go over the face and hair, and the second one I'll go over body, outfit, and the rest of accessories and looks. Just so you guys can really get something out of this. So with the face, over here, there's like, okay, let me just move my avatar. There we go. There we go. Okay, so here, stop. So here are face sets. So personally, I like to use them so I can have a start how I'm gonna shape my face, the face of my models. So I personally like to use this one, but depending on how your art style is or how you want to style them, you can always use other ones. So over here are sliders. You can go ahead and mess around with them. So my first tip for face is, okay, so the higher the eyes, the more mature your character will look. The lower, the more younger your character will look. So I'm gonna go for a more mature character. So I'm just gonna, do this with my character. So downturned eyes are like more for softer looks, or it really just depends if you really want downturned eyes. And more upturned eyes are like more for sassy. And of course, if you just want them to be upturned, then of course you can always do that. So I think I want them to be upturned. For our tutorial Chan here. Right here you can do that. That really helps with your eye shape. So I think I kind of like this, like that. This is just just like kind of changes, like, if you want more siren shape or like more dough-ish, you know. This is just like if you got those like characters with like the straight like eyelid, you know. Here you can just also do that if you have like a more wider eyed character. Here you can always bring it down. I personally like to use these slides. So, because I usually like to make like more mature, adult-looking characters. Here you can make your characters look more scornful. Here's like droopy if you really want that soft look, you know. So I think I may go for more scornful look. So here's like lower your lashes. I will explain that when I get to the lash tabs. So here you can adjust your iris. You know, kind of do this, you know, I think I may want this to be like that. You can even change your gaze like this or that. I'll keep it like this. Or like this, you know. Here's the eyebrows. So I'll keep it like this because I kind of like, I think I'll have like a more like stern looking character today. So here you can just like do that, you know. Which I don't really use. Here's the arch. You can make it thicker, thinner. I'll go with some thin ones. Make it longer, shorter. I think I'll just keep it like this. Excuse me. Here's the nose size, which just makes your nose longer or shorter. I'll keep it like this. And nose width makes your nose wider or narrower. Nose tip just like adjusts the height of it or like where it is, you know. What's this? Nose size. Oh, I think did I do that? Okay, whatever. So now, what's that? Oh, so if you want like a more like bridged character, like a more bridged nose, you want that. Or you want it, well, bro, more upturn. You can do that. You want like, you can also go beyond this. Whatever the slider goes, you can even do that if you really want it downturned. And you can do this with like anything. You can go beyond the sliders with like almost any. Okay, that made it really creepy, but you can just always do that with like almost any slider here. So here's the mouth. Oh, before that, here's the nose stuff. Wait. I'm gonna just do something like this since I like that. Kind of like. Okay, so here is prominence and the nose base prominences. So this is really helpful for like how you want your style. So let's say you want a more My Hero Academia nose style. You're probably gonna want to do something like this, right? I think this is how it looks, right? Okay, so yeah, that's basically what that does. Here's nose mouth width. So you could just make it thin, narrower, wider. I'll keep it like this. Another tip about making faces. Okay, so I feel like more down makes your character look a bit more mature. I'll keep it up here a bit, but she's still dull. Honestly, the mouth kind of doesn't matter. I say it's more the eyes that make your character's face. So here you can change how the lip is like. You want it thicker, you know. So I'll keep it like that. Here you can change your character's mouth. So let's go change it. Okay, you can do this thing, like, you know, that anime tooth thing where it's like through the skin. You can have vampire teeth, you can even have it from here or there, shark teeth. I'll have some shark teeth. Here is the eye set, so if you don't want, to do like full face, you can just always change the eye here. So here's irises. You can have okay, there's presets for that. You can choose any of these, you know, and if none just meet your forte, oh yeah, there's also eye highlights. If none of these meet your standards for style, always you can always go into the texture editor and just make your eyes. So right here, you just do that. See how that works. Here is the mirror, which mirrors your actions in the editor. Here's the eraser if you want to erase something, you know. Here is the bucket, so just do that. You can change it. And then Control and Z is how to undo your things. Over here is blur, so let me show you what that does. So let's actually kind of like this color scheme. Let's do that. Okay, so here is blur. You could just do that with your character, you know. So yeah. Okay, so if okay, wait, okay, how do I word this? Okay, so you don't have to work on your textures directly in Vroid. You can always export this. So let's call this, I'll just call this like eye yellow, because there's some yellow in it. By the way, I also recommend making a file for your Vroid textures, which I have right here, which has all my stuff. Okay, so now you just load in your third party, whatever art thingy, your third party application. And then you just load it in here. You can also export the guides, which I really recommend. The reason why is because let's say you're doing a face, like something more complex like this. So basically, what the texture window does is like it basically like unravels the model, like unraveling a box, you know? So here the guides really indicates where you're working on. So let's say I want to work on the nose bridge right here. So right here would be my nose bridge, right? So so that's why it's pretty important to have the guides here. So you can also export the guides. So we could do that. I guide. Okay, so you can always import the layer into here. And then from there, you can just work on your model like that, you know? Then afterwards, you can export it. No, I mean import. Um, did I tell you how to get to that? Okay, I think I forgot to. But you just right click and then and you're brought to this. So go to import and you just choose whatever you want. Let's see, what do I want to, I'll choose this one. Okay, so now that I have imported an eye texture I want it, and you can just exit. Oh yeah, my bad. Please. Okay, so right here, you can also just, add colors, you know, you can also remove them. Um, pressure sensitivity does this for you. Like, it makes your thing a little more, like, less, depending on how you press with your, drawing pen, it, like, makes it a bit more controlled, or like sketch mode or something. Uh, I think you get it, right? Like, you know. Okay, so over here are just different brushes, you know, quite straightforward. You can also like make the layer, opacity, So yeah. Okay, so here's the scaleras. Oh yeah, here's eye highlights which I gone over, you know, just eye shine. You can still edit this too. I'll just leave it like that. So here's scaleras. Scleras. Okay, so it just depending how you want like the style, you can always change this. You can even change the color, you know. Um, I'm not really those type of people that do it, but I just, I just kind of keep it grayish, you know. So here are eyebrows, which I've gone over. You can also change the texture, I mean, shape. Well, technically it is the texture because this is how the texture, like the texture is how this turns out. If you know what I mean. You know? Okay. Your eyelids. It's like pretty helpful for eye shape. And again, if you don't like any of the styles of these, um, you can always just, sorry, my cat is on my lap right now. Okay. You can just always just edit this. Anyways. So here's eyeliner, my favorite part of, customizing the face. So you could just go here and then just like go ahead and do your thing, you know. Kind of like that, you know. Just do that as well. And then again, this is when the grids come in very handy. Sorry, please do. Oh my god, please do. Okay. So that's how eyeliner works. So I make a lot of this. I make a lot of this. It's my favorite. Hello, please. It's not. It's not. Okay. Oh my god, Kalisto, you're in the way. Okay, come on, bro. So let's just choose one I already made. Let's see. Let's see. As you can see, I really like making these, so I have a lot. Okay. I think I'll just go with this. I like it. Here are eyelashes. I don't really use them since the eyeliner's already dramatic enough. So that brings us to what this does, the lower lash tip. So see what that does, you know. I have made a few lashes before, you know, but I don't really use them anymore, so let's just keep it with none. Here are nose contours, depending on your style, you know, of course. Just go. I think I'll just go with this. I don't really care much about the nose contouring, so. But of course, this is also when the grids come in handy, you know. So let's say you want to work on the nose tip right here. So you would probably come here to make your nose tip. And you could square that, you know. Damn, you made a nose contour. Not bad for a tutorial. Nose contouring. It actually kind of worked. Okay, so here's mouth. It's like the outline of your mouth. So let's say you want a more cat-ish look. Come on, bro. Wait. Okay, okay, there we go. Okay, so let's say you want a more cat-ish look. Probably choose this, right? You know, mouth inside. It's kind of like just like this, you know. Which I don't really care about either. Here are lips, you know, lipstick, or whatever, you know. I have made a few lip textures before. It's quite fun to me, honestly, but Let's just, okay, I'll just do this, whatever. Here's cheeks, you know, you can change the color of them. And like that, you know, like this. So, here's the skin. Okay, so, you can always change the style here, but I don't care about that either. You can always change the skin color of your character. If you have like a more dark skin character, you probably want to change this and this, so your character doesn't look cakey or pasty, you know. Let's see, vibrant, so they don't look ashy, you know. Kind of like that, you know. Here's face paint, like, you know, add your makeup and that, of course. You can also edit texture. So, see, this is also when face contouring or like the face, or like guidelines come in handy, you know. So you want to make some eyeshadow, you know. You probably want to have it over here, right? So you're gonna come over here and just, you know, do your eyeshadow from there. You know, just kind of do that, you know. You know what? She's just tutorial chance, so I'm not gonna do much about that. So I'll just keep it like that, you know. I'll just keep it like that. Okay, so brings us to hair. Okay, this may take a little longer for me to explain. Okay, so this is probably everyone's biggest struggle, I am guessing. So I will be a lot more in depth about this. So I'm gonna start with back hair because that was something maybe every beginner of Vroid struggled with. So right here, of course, you can choose like any custom ones, but let's say you have a more unique character. You need to like, you want to, you want to do something here more unique, right? So what you don't do with your hair is that you do not do this in multiple strokes. How you want to do this is like, you really want to put faith in your mouse or drawing tablet and pen, and then you just drag this, drag, you know? So before that, I'm going to explain what screen grid is. What is the screen grid? It is important for shaping out your hair. Shaping out your hair silhouette, you know. You can drag this down if you want longer hair, you know, take this out, you know. Um, you know. Okay, so for back hair, I would not recommend using freehand group where, you know, like you just go strand and strand at a time, you know. That's quite difficult, isn't it? And it would be a bit messy in my opinion. So why not be a bit smarter and use procedural hairs? So right here you have a set of hairs already, hair strokes already. You can make it wider, thicker, which gives your hair more volume. Um, you can drag this down. You can make it shorter, you know, longer. So honestly, procedural hair method works with like almost any length. No, actually, it does work with like any length. So after that, you want to bring this over. You can even give your hair more hair, you know. But I don't really like doing that. So what I would do, instead of making it in one go, I will make this in halves. So I would bring this half over from here, right? So let's do something here. Okay, so here's Cascade. You can like change the silhouette of these, you know. Gonna like maybe just do this, you know. I kind of liked it like that, and you know, something like this, you know. Let's yeah, I like that. I like that. Okay, so now that we have that, then you will change this to freehand hair, and you see this control point. So what this does is you can move your hair strands and just shape it up, you know. Shape that up, you know. And then you can also smooth this, which gives your control points less points to work with. So after that, then you want to duplicate this and then flip it. See, isn't that easy? And just so clean, you know? So clean. But the problem is you're gonna have to split right here, like how MiHoYo does it. But honestly, who cares? I don't really care about it, so I kind of like it. But if you really do have a problem with that, why not just take a strand here, you can duplicate that, then you go here, and then you go to X position, and look, I'm really like, damn, you know what? See, that really just, that can just fix all your problems if you're really having trouble, if you really don't like the hair split there. So just move that now. And there you go. No split hair curse if you dislike that, if you dislike it that much. So, now, okay, honestly, I did not give her enough hair, but we can kind of fix that. You know what, you could just also add more procedural hairs if you want, but I honestly don't care. She's just tutorial Chan, so, now, the bangs. Okay, bangs are a little easier, in my opinion. So, what you want to do with bangs, of course, you can also use this grid right here, which I feel is very important when you're making bangs. So, what you want to do, of course, you don't want to do this. I would recommend using free hair guide, the free hand groupings over procedure hair. But it's your choice. So what I just did, like you know, this I would not do this with the hairs. You want to do this in one stroke again, you know. So how does it work? You want to connect your bangs to your from the back, you know. So you just kind of do this, you know, or you can go from the side and do from there, you know. And if you're saying that there's not much freedom for that, you're wrong. Watch this. Watch what I can do. This is how much you can drag out your hair. See, there's a lot of freedom with the hair strokes. See, you can really do all that. And this is what I meant when I said that the hair, this green hair grid is quite important for shaping your hair however you want. So yeah, and of course you can do this, you know, you can change the width, you know, make it thinner, you know, or, you know, less thick, you know, if you want flatter, you know. So that concludes bangs. Okay, so here is overall hair. So let's say you're just too lazy to, or okay, no offense, but I'm also quite lazy. But I personally don't like using overall hairs. But let's just say you don't want to put in much effort to the hair, so you just kind of use these kind of hairs, you know, to really fix your problem. But I don't really like using them because, you know, I got characters with very unique situations right here, as you can see. Ugh, you know. Okay, so let's just bring back my tutorial chan hair. Okay, so here's extensions, which is like ponytails, buns, you know. There are also presets um for like this, so you probably want to use some of these. Um, in another video, I will make a tutorial on how to make these type of back hairs. So yeah, that's let me just bring back that. Okay, so that is the hair extension. So you can do that. Of course, you can also make your own like this, you know, or kind of like this. You probably recognize this from one of my OCs I've made already. You know what? It's kind of cute. Okay. Anyways, so here's side hairs. You know. You can also make your own. Like I said, you can always make your own hairs here. This is whatever this is called, a hoge. You know that cowlick thing, that cowlick that anime characters have. Danganronpa protagonist. Here's extras. So let's say you have like extra things to do here, you know, you want to add that. So, um, I'm gonna give you something quite shocking. Um, you know, with all the freedom you can do with your hair strokes, you can make accessories with these. And I bet you did not know that these accessories were made from hair, but very much, yes, very much they have been. So yes, my little avatar right here, all this was made from hair. Look at how messy this is. Ugh. As you can tell, I had some help, making this, just duplicating this like over and over and over again, like, give me a break, man. And how I did this, is, so these things here play a quite important part, so here you can just move, well, no, I don't want to do that. You can move this, you know, you can rotate it. Say you want to make this bigger, right? You can scale this. Quite nice. So I don't want to save that. No, I don't really want that. There's a lot you can do with hairs. You can make this. You can make this, which I found another way to make wings, but that will be for another video as well. You can do this. And if you want to know how I did this, now let me show you. Okay, so let's go to, bro. Okay, I'm gonna like, you can just do that, no? Okay, so let's go here. So this is what your hair texture will look like. It's just this big block. So for me, I felt like hair textures was a really difficult thing for me to do, but honestly, it is not that scary. So I recommend using this brush right here. So just like, you know, you just do that, you know, just like, you know, and you can just do this, you know, see, isn't that wonderful? And, you know, if you want a different hair color, you just like always, you know, do this. Oh, oops, my bad. My bad. So you could always do this too. And let's say you want to add more detail. Let's do that. That you can do in the Vroid, editing texture too. Yes, you can do that. You can just do that, you know. More depth, you know. So yeah, that's how you make hair textures. And if you want to know how to do this, you can also just draw a picture on this. So you probably want to keep this, you know, just to see what you're doing. And you just draw from here. Let's say I want to make a little diamond here, you know. Little diamonds, you know. Little diamonds. See? That's how it works. And then here you can change the width of your hair texture, or you can like put it up and down, or like you can like rotate how you want it. So yeah, there's also more that you can do. You can change this, you know, change that if you want that, you know. You can even make your hair straight, kind of like this, you know. So yeah, I will go over more about making accessories with hair and Vroid for another video as well. So yeah, stay tuned for that. So now that I've gone over hair, okay, so I guess that makes up for the part 1 of this video. So I will be back for part 2. So yeah, until then. Now that I have gone over the part 1 on how to use Vroid, I will upload part 2 right after I upload part 1, just so the video isn't too long.